Yo, what's poppin', fellas? It's your boy here. We back. We got some more Fae content, some more delicious Fae juiciness for you. So, what we're going to do today is a tier list for all of the Harmonic and Duo heroes in the game. Now, this was one of the most requested videos that I've had this past week. Like, so many people asked for this. So, I thought we might as well go ahead and knock this out. So, we got our tier list here. We got God tier. We have Fantastic. We got Strong. We have Solid. And then we have Not Quite. So, I mean, we can just toss that guy in Not Quite. That would be an example of a Not Quite. And then an example of a God tier would be like Duo Asker. So, just to give you a bit of frame reference of like what we're looking for in terms of power level for each tier list. So, we're going to go ahead and take a look at each of these units one by one. Actually, I think I'm just going to start with God tier. Let's just fill out God tier for the start. Okay, Duo Peony, I want her in God tier for sure. She's like a phenomenal dancer. She can run Wings, Guidance 4, Soaring Guidance, and things like that. You can give her Firestorm Dance 3. She has insane support. She's got a Duo skill dance. One of the most powerful dancers you can run. Okay, I guess I should explain these two too. So Asker, the support, the combo of his C skill support with the Duo skill is so strong. You're getting like ramping twice for special acceleration, then you get the all stats of 6. He enables so many movement types to get easy special cooldown count, because most of the time it's only like infantry types that are getting the pulse effects, but he just does it to all your allies that are on the team that are within distance of him. So it's just very easy to set up your units with this guy on the team. Who else is a God tier? Let's see here. Okay, I would probably have her in God tier as well, Duo Dagger. The Pathfinder, just giving your whole team Pathfinder is so dumb. Like, what the hell were they thinking with that? Duo Thor, also another God tier. She just disables all the enemy's bullshit in Aether Raids. Well, Summoner Duels more so, but she can be effective in AR as well, being able to inflict exposure and stall and stuff like that. So, definitely a worthy unit. I'm going to toss Nina in God tier as well. Bonus movement on a ranged cav from her Duo skill, and then being able to use Kanto Recall is just so nutty. We could also put their counterpart in there too. So, the new Kakedo on the Wind Banner is basically just a different version of Thief Nina. They do effectively the same exact things. So, you could argue they're both like as good as each other. Alright, who else do we have in God tier? Let's see here. Okay, Duo Ymir, most likely I would have in God tier. She gives the Miracle support with the C skill. She gives that party-wide healing and penalty cleansing on the Duo skill, which is a really easy way to get around a lot of effects. So like stall, which may be used, or also in AR, if they have Emblem on the team, they try to do undefended and feud on you, you can just turn it off. So that's very strong there. Duo Shamir is also another God tier. Duo Shamir is nuts. Crazy player phase potential, crazy debuff potential. The Duo skill just adds even more debuffs by doing feud and gravity on the enemies. She can cut DR by giving her like Deadeye. She has a lot of DR herself. Just a very, very potent force on the player phase. Alright, Mark is probably a God tier as well. Mark is very good. He can run the new level 4 ploy skills if you want, the gold ones with exposure and inflicting nullification of bonus doubler and also grand strategy. So that could work out really nicely for him. He also does stall by himself and a bunch of other debuffs. So he could run that, or he could just stick to Kanto control like he defaults with. So he's a nice disruptor of the enemy forces. Then his Duo skill gives them special cooldown count +2. And it does something else as well. Can't remember. But it basically just resets their specials, which is already quite good enough. So definitely a worthy God tier entry there. Okay, we got to get these two in there too. We have Katria and Cordelia. Just, it's kind of dumb that it took me that long to add them. This is in no particular order. This is just relative. Like, all these guys in God tier are relative to each other. So, yeah, do I need to explain them? Probably not. Okay, Ira is also a God tier. Let's get Ira in God tier. This Ira is nuts. Player phase potential is out of control. She has Flow Desperation. She can hit her special twice in a row in combat. Then she has Kanto Distant. So she just runs in 4 spaces and then she pulls back 4 spaces. It's just a nightmare. This unit is crazy. Alright, who else do we got here? I want to say Bunny Carla is also a God tier. Let's just keep looking, though, before we make a final decision. Yeah, I think Bunny Carla might be the last God tier. Yeah, Bunny Carla is probably the last god tier here. So we're going to go ahead and toss her in there. She just blows up everything. Pre-charge special is very easy to get with her. As soon as she hits the foe, she just blows them up with... being able to nullify non-special DR and also special DR in one combo is so good. So she's definitely a very potent offensive force. I've seen the forecast say she does 0 damage, but she procs the special and she just blows the enemy up in one shot. So, yeah, just never underestimate the power of this Carla. So, yeah, that seems to make enough sense for me for God tier. Okay, what would be in Fantastic tier then? So, these would be the units that I think are really good, but have, like, 1 or 2 drawbacks. Let's have Tana in there. We'll have Tana in Fantastic. She's probably the best Soaring Guidance and Guidance 4 user, because she allows your units to jump in, and then she's also supporting them with Kanto 1. So not only do they jump in, but then they can, like, pull back a little as well. That's a very good combo with her. And then she can play her phase decently herself as well, but not, like, the craziest. She is a dagger type, so she can run lethality. So if you were able to, like, pre-charge that with Asker or whoever, then she could actually be doing some crazy stuff. And then she also has a Harmonic skill Dance to top it off. So very good unit there. Oh, Dorothy. How did I miss Dorothy? Actually, is Dorothy a god tier? She might be. Yeah, Dorothy is probably a god tier because I would say she's at least as good as Peony. She has a 2-space dance skill for allies from 3 houses and genealogy. And there are quite a lot of good units from those titles. So that's just a very effective duo skill. She's also a flyer, so she can have Soaring Guidance and Guidance 4 and such. So easily god tier there. Okay, Caden Lindy, I'm going to have in Fantastic. Her support's really good. She gives no follow-up, and then she also gives terrain bypassing, which is good, but my main issue with this unit is that she herself seems to lack in stopping power. She cuts DR in half, but I feel like that's not even enough. I would have preferred if she just nullified DR completely, but, I mean, we can't always have what we want. And then defensively, she does have a lot of sources of DR. Primarily after popping the duo skill, you get dodge on her. But I feel like she underperforms a little in combat. And really, the support effect from her is what you're getting the main mileage out of. Giving no follow-up so easily to everybody. So I would just have her in Fantastic, personally. I think I want to put all the ninja units in Fantastic. Like, we might as well just do that right now. Like, if you have any of these ninja units at plus 10... Arena is a joke. Like, you don't even need to worry about Arena whatsoever. Where is Corin? Okay, there she is. Yeah, just being able to dance off the duo skill to yourself is so good. And then these two are able to get charge support and special acceleration support from Hinoka. They can all pierce DR now. Well, she can if you have a Leer support to get nullified DR there. But these two can naturally do it. She's got lethality. She's got Deadeye. So I feel like they're all in here. And then this one does magic damage, which is a little bit better than doing physical damage. But for the most part, they're all, like, relatively equal. She's also a Cav, so she's got more movement by default than them. So, yeah, I would have them all basically in the same tier. Although, I do think I might like Linja a little bit more than Corin now because of the Hinoka support and charge and all that. All right, let's see. What else oh, Duocrom. Do we want Duocrom in God tier, or do we want him in Fantastic? That's rough. He does also offer a lot of special acceleration support, just like Asker. He is very strong. He does have grand strategy on his duo skill, which is nice. He does that mid-turn as well, so if the enemies have a way to, like, kind of mess with it, like, let's say they have the new gold border ploy skills, they activate that. That would mess with Legendary Robin. Because to cleanse that, you would also be cleansing the penalties too. So it's kind of counterproductive with him. But with this guy, you could pop that mid-turn and it would work. So, like, you use your action, you end your turn, and then you're freed of the ploy 4 debuff. And then you go ahead and pop Grand Strategy, and then you just get it back with the debuffs there. So he does have some things up his sleeve. He also has Special Spiral 4 access. He's got, like, Physical Null follow-up access. He's just, like, living the life being an infantry type. All right, let's... Summer Edelgard, is she also a god? She probably is a god tier, honestly. Yeah, okay, so there were a lot of god tiers that I wasn't paying enough attention to, but yeah, I mean, this unit is probably the best Gale Force option, just straight up. being able to take 3 actions in turn with a Brave attack, with the new Bold Fighter Sacred Seal, which is so perfect for her. It's just like, it's A1, man. She's just easily up here. She scores higher than all the other Harmonics, being an armor type with a really good BST. So, there's a case to be made she's the single best unit in the game, because she can just do everything. If you could have one unit at plus 10, it would probably be her that would have the biggest impact on your entire barracks. So, I think we got to have her in God tier. Let's see here. What else do we want? Oh, Hatari is... Man, is Hatari Azura also a God tier? She probably is. Wow, there's a lot. Do we need a tier above God tier? It feels like there's just so many things in God tier, right? Like, we're barely even... Well, we got so many more to go. We're going to definitely fill out strong and solid, but... Wow. Okay. Alright, sure. We'll take Hatari Azura. She gives the bonus movement. She can also grant a bunch of effects with her duo skill. She grants Resonant Blades and attack and speed up 6, I think. Then she just gives all stats up 6 naturally from the dance. She also can have, like, Firestorm Dance and things like that. She can't have Soaring Guidance and Guidance 4 like these two. And she does also harmonize Dance for allies from Fates and Path of Radiance. The Path of Radiance is a throwaway. However, the Fates is not. There's a lot of good units from Fates. We got 2 right there. So, definitely a solid unit. Definitely a good dancer. Okay, we'll put Baby Ike in Fantastic tier. He's got a good duo skill just like Mark. He can reset the enemy's specials, which is very helpful. And he has a higher radius of effect to that than Mark does. Mark does 3 columns and 3 rows. This guy does 5 columns and 5 rows. So, it's very likely you're going to target everything with that. In combat, though, I'm not the biggest fan of him. I have to admit, like, I feel like he's just a god sword that doesn't really compete with the best of them. So, all of his value is still riding on that duo skill just like it ever was when he came out. Is Duo Elise also a god tier, man? I think she probably is. There's just so many gods here. When everyone is busted, no one is. That's basically the motto of this game. Who needs balancing if you just make everything broken? Right? Like, that's pretty much how that goes. Okay, Duo Elise, what do we say about her? She's just Duo Micaiah on roids. Giving dominance to 3 columns and 3 rows. You do the defense and res -7. Staff units have been on the rise with a lot of skills. She's got Poetic Justice. You could give her Holy... What is it called again? Dazzling Shift, but she actually doesn't want that because she has the Dazzling Staff effect on her weapon already. She has... You could give her, like, Holy Panic, Holy Pressure, and things like that. So, but it's not like she needs it. Her weapon's already really strong. So, she's definitely a god tier, I would say. Very powerful unit. Okay, Mark. Duo Marth. I just called him Mark. I'm going to put him in Fantastic. He's a really nice far save unit. He's got the built-in Vantage. He's got the built-in Desperation against enemies that are ranged attackers. He can easily pierce DR if you want him to. You could just give him Deadeye. Although his base special is pretty solid. You give him, like, Savvy Fighter for the B skill. You can give him a lot of things. He doesn't get Hardy Fighter, unfortunately, but he doesn't really need it. So, yeah, he works out pretty well. You could also give him, like, Armored Flow and Armored Bacon if you want to. But that's not really a necessity. You just want to, like, hit the enemies and get rid of them before they get to attack him. So, yeah, he's a very strong far saver. He can be very annoying to deal with. I feel like we've gotten through all the notable... Okay, Duo Sonia, we'll put her in Fantastic as well. She can warp in. She has warping on herself. She can also run Soaring Guidance and Guidance 4 to then jump in and let people jump into her. Similar to the Rearm Tana, how she works with the B skill. So you could do that. She's also really easy to pre-charge her AoEs with. So she can just blow things up for the most part. There is a lot of AoE protection to watch out for now, though. Like the Divine Vein Stones and also Goto's support. So she's not quite as, like, cracked as she once was. She is still very good, though. So I think Fantastic is fair. Alright, we'll go ahead and toss Halloween Duma also in Fantastic. Is everything just going to be God tier or Fantastic? I guess probably. Yeah, so this guy's a really nice far save option as well. You could just run Distant Counter Dragons on him and then give him... Actually, I think he had distant counters somewhere. Hold on, let's pull him up real quick. I'm not like, I don't have his stuff the freshest in memory because I don't have him. Let's see here. Oh, also his duo skill neutralizes penalties, 30% HP, or 30 HP recovery, and neutralizes enemies' bonuses as well. For 1 turn to allies in 5 columns, 5 rows. Very strong duo skill right there. Yeah, so let's see here. They have distant counters somewhere. Where is it? It's on the A skill. Yeah, so just ditch that, give them Scowl, and then give them the distant counter Dragon Seal. That's really what I was trying to go for there. Yeah, so they're fantastic for sure. I'm gonna put Sigurd in strong. Yeah, let's start just like filling out these other tiers too before we're just like worn out on the really busted stuff. So Sigurd, I would say, is strong. He's a really nice dancer. He's not quite as like insane as some of the other ones because his duo skill doesn't give an extra action to allies. Instead, what he does is he adds a reposition effect to all adjacent allies. So that can be comboed really well. You run up, you dance with him. If you've got Firestorm Dance 3 or Attack and Res Far Trace with him, you dance and then you pull back with Kanto. You go next to a unit that you want to repo in, and then you pop the duo skill, and then you're getting like a lot of better movement and positioning for multiple units in a turn with him. So he's got some tricks up his sleeve. He's pretty cool. He's not the worst in combat either. He's got some DR, and he can hit pretty hard. Although he can't pierce DR himself, so I guess you could give him the Arcane Red Tome, and he can pre-charge specials and do like a lot of damage that way. But without piercing of DR, he's probably not going to blow stuff up that readily. Not that it matters, though. You just need him for the dance support. So I think he's strong. He's not, like, as strong as some of the other ones, but certainly a good unit. Okay, so Duo Lift. Where do we put Duo Lift, man? I think we're going to put him in solid. I do like him better than Hector. He has a damaging duo skill where he does damage to foes in 3 spaces of him. I think it's based on, like, how much damage your allies have taken. And then it's also 10 plus damage on top of that. Then he cuts DR in half. He has a guaranteed follow-up. He gets all stats up 6. And then he deals 20 chip damage to the nearest ally after he attacks. So a lot going on with him. He just didn't age the best. Like, null follow-up is pretty common. If he cuts DR and she cuts DR in half, and I don't think she's as good as I would like on the player phase, and she is not as susceptible to null follow-up as him, you can only imagine, like, how much worse off he would be than her. So, I gotta have him way lower than this unit. Also, he doesn't even offer as much support as her. I think Duo Erica's probably also a solid. She had this crazy weapon where she has, like, Aether Light built in. She does 20% defense cut to the enemies, and then she gets back 20% HP of the enemy's defense after she attacks them. So, she's got a lot of sustain. She can do a lot of damage, but what ended up messing with her is that she doesn't have null follow-up built into her weapon, or like dodge, like DR anywhere built into her weapon or anything like that. She's trying to get it out of the duo skill, which is fine, but it's not quite as consistent. So you want to run, like, she's in a weird spot where you want to run like physical null follow-up, or sometimes you may want like Special Spiral 4 just to ramp into something. Maybe have like Vital Astra. You could do that as well. There's a lot of things you can do with her. I think she's probably better than Hector still, even with his refine, but it's tough with her. We got to wait to see what her refine does. Hopefully they give her null follow-up and some DR built in. Okay, we have Hilda up next. Where is Hilda going? Probably also in solid. Her duo skill can be really handy. She inflicts isolation on enemies in 3 rows and 3 columns, and then she does attack -7 as well. She's also a decent support option. She gives the breath effect and also attack up 6 to allies in 2 spaces. So that could be nice to set up your other allies if she's close by to them. She can also do a lot of healing, so that's also always good. But I don't know, man. Staff units do have better skills now. She can run Poetic Justice or Dazzling Shift. She can run one of those new specials like Holy Panic, Holy Pressure, whatever. But she's probably still in solids here until we see more. We got to see a refine from her. Pirate Hinoka, let's see. Where do we want her? Is she also a solid? She might be a strong. She has a brave attack if she has color advantage on the enemies, which is not really that common. She ended up being green. If she was blue, I'd understand. But being green, that's not really the best. It was because of Brave Hector at the time. She has also adaptive damage too. Like, this was a Brave Hector killer on release. That's pretty much why they made her the way she is. But Brave Hector has long since dropped out of being the best save unit, so yeah, she kind of aged out alongside of him in that regard, but she still inflicts gravity on enemies in a pretty wide radius. It's all ranged enemies in 3 rows and 3 columns that she can gravity, and then she can also get bonus movement to herself and flying allies, so that is good. Her duo skill is good, it's just that, like, I'm not the biggest fan of her combat right now. Duo Sothis, oh man, this unit grants null follow-up with the duo skill, and it's reusable as well. Let's pull them up real quick. Let's just take a look. Yeah, so they grant null follow-up to allies and unit in 2 spaces. So they give it to themselves. And they also grant -1 special trigger if the allies that are in spaces are at their maximum cooldown value. So it basically times pulse with null follow-up. And it's reusable, which is really nice. The bad thing is that they don't really have the best combat. They do have Guidance 4 and Soaring Guidance access being flying types. You can run Counter Roar on them now, I guess. So they've got some stuff going on, but like they could really use a refine at this point. They got to run Distant Counter in the A skill. I guess you could run Distant Counter Dragons and then give them Scowl 4. Like that could be an option too. So they just need a refine. Their weapon is not up to date enough. So I have to toss them in solid for now. Let's see, what else we got? Okay, Roy, I don't know why Roy caught my eye there. Where do we want Roy? Man, he gives Treachery support, which is really good. FE6 is kind of a wash, though. Like, Catria might be the only good unit from FE6. There's not really a lot of good units from FE6. FE7, on the other hand, we do have a lot of good units from. So, giving Treachery to them is really nice. It's also really good with Legendary and Bride Lilina, because Treachery will add damage to your gifted magic. And then they can also add damage with Exposure if you give them Gold Ploy. So, he aged a little bit well with that duo skill, but unfortunately his weapon itself didn't really age the craziest. I think I'm going to give him Strong. I don't think he's quite as good as the stuff in Fantastic, but he is strong. Alright, Duo Alphonse. I was going to call him Duo Asker there for some reason. Where do we want this guy? Is he fantastic? He's probably a Fantastic, honestly. Because he can nuke. He nukes really well with Special Spiral 4. He's got true DR based on defense, just like Asker. Would have been nice if he had true damage based on defense, but they didn't want to give it to him. And his duo skill's really good, too. He gives -2 cooldown count to infantry allies that are within 2 spaces of him, I think it is. And also to himself. So he just sets himself up to be popping duo skills left and right. Where is this guy? Actually, yeah, where is Alphonse? Okay, here he is. Okay, yeah, he gives to 3 columns and 3 rows, so it's actually better than I thought. It's not within 2 spaces, which is pretty good. So you just get -2 special cooldown count. Very nice. Would have been nicer if it was for all allies and not just infantry. But we'll take what we can get with him. All right, we'll toss Scion Leaf in Strong. Actually, is he a Fantastic? He might be. He's got the built-in Miracle. He went up in value with Flared Sparrow. One of the better users of it, thanks to Nyoran Zeal. One of the few Gale Force units that are ranged as well. But I think he's probably about on par with this Roy, and I have him in Strong. So, like, it probably makes sense to have him in Strong as well. I don't know if I would have him above any of these guys in Fantastic, so Strong is probably about right. Alright, Harmonic Tiki. I'm not so big on these armored units, you guys already know, but she's probably about similar to Duma. She might be better than him, actually. She's probably the tankiest armored unit right now. Although I still say Brave Corrin's better because of the Dragon Vein support. So, not really too much to say about Tiki. We'll just have her in Fantastic. She's good, but I'm down on bait units. I guess we can probably toss Idun in there as well. Idun is probably about relative to Duma. So these two would be a little closer. She's probably the better of the bunch. But not really by that much. Let's see here. What else do we got? Okay, Veronica. Yeah, Veronica's going to be in a not quite right now. She's a Gale Force unit, but she is so reliant on her guaranteed follow-up that if the enemies have null follow-up, which most likely they do at this day and age, it's not easy for her to really Gale Force anymore. Her Harmonic skill is really underpowered. It just gives Resonant Shields. Nowadays, we're given that, and then we're given like 10 other effects as well. So, she's got to wait for her refine. Duo Ephraim's probably a solid, I would say. Yeah, He can give bonus movement to infantry and armored allies in 2 spaces. Would have been nice if it was just all allies. But then cavalry types getting that would have been a little over the top. And then he's a nice player phaser now with his remix. He's got Kanto Rem, which is rare for infantry. He's got effective damage on armor and cav, so he can hit pretty hard. He's getting a lot of stats. He gets bonus movement as well on even number turns, which combos nicely with the Odd Tempest Seal. So he's got some stuff going on, but he's not like... I wouldn't have him in the same tier as like Roy or Leaf or Sigurd, so I think solid is fair. Harmonic Mia. Ooh. This one's interesting because I can see a lot of potential with this unit. They have so much DR on the first hit. They can pierce DR with lethality. It's not the hardest thing in the world to get DR with them. Do they have null follow-up, though? That's the one thing I don't recall. Also, yeah, their duo skill is pretty underpowered, too. They just do Resonant Blades. No stats either, just Resonant Blades. It is reusable, though, which is nice, but, like, we got to be doing more than just Resonant Blades, man. Okay, so Mia and Lucina. Let's see here. -1 special trigger. Attack and speed up 5, and then 75% DR on the first hit. Yeah, no null follow-up. Oh, that sucks. If only they had that, or like at least half a null follow-up where they break Wary Fighter. So I can't have them super high. I think probably solid is about right. But man, they could shoot up easily with a remix at some point. Okay, this Tiki. This is a very strange unit. It's a player-phasing dragon unit that can have a duo skill dance action. What do we even do with them? I rarely ever see, like, crazy plays with this unit. So they give Resonant Blades, and then they grant another action to the ally with the highest HP in 2 spaces from the same titles. Blazing Blade is okay, but Shadow Dragon and New Mystery kind of lacking on the pool of really good options there. Yeah, I don't know about them, man. This might be like a not quite tier. Effective against dragons, attack up 3. If bonus is active, they get attack and speed up 6. And then also bonus to attack equal to total bonuses on enemies' defense and res. Times 1.5. Okay, so they get like half of Blade's Home, except augmented on defense and res only. That's kind of weird. Or it's not Blade's Home, it's the enemy's bonuses, or is it their bonuses? Oh, it's their... Okay, so defense and res, they get like 1.5 times whatever their defense and res is. Probably +6 because they have... Or +5 with everyone. I don't know about them. Player phase dragons... Are they... Hold on. They're a flyer, right? They are a flyer, I think. Let's see. Yeah, they are a flying type unit. If only they had like 3 movement, then maybe. We're really waiting on some more Cav Dragons that can take advantage of Fallen Ninian's +1 movement. I gotta have them in not quite. Okay, Duo Altina is pretty interesting. Where do we want her? Is she a fantastic? She might be a fantastic. She's not quite as good as the other one because the Mythic Altina can fly. She's got that really crazy ace skill, and then she can run Guidance 4 and Soaring Guidance. All of those things this Altina would kill to be able to do. However, there is an advantage to this Altina, and it's that she can run Null C4. So she has less counters than the other Altina. She still has Twin Blades, which is nice to pierce DR. You can run like Attack and Speed Pledge on her if you want to. She's got a lot of infantry skill options, which are really nice. She can also get Vantage out of the Duo skill, which can be really strong and really threatening. I probably do like her a little bit more than Roy and Leaf, but like... I think Fantastic is probably as high as we can give her. I might be a little too high on this unit too, but like the Mythic Altina I think is certainly better. But this unit is not really like doing that much less than the Mythic one. So I think Fantastic is fair. Oh, this unit's not quite. I'm not a big fan of Bunny Mer whatsoever. I don't think I use them at all anymore. I had them... I got them on a double special banner on the free pull, I think. Or I might have been summoning on that banner. They might have been color sharing with something I wanted. I don't remember, but I do remember I got them. I was happy about them, and then I just never used them at all. So they get IO Shield on their duo skill. They grant Resonant Blades to allies from the same titles, and they also disable enemies from making a follow-up attack. That's okay, I guess, but like null follow-up is just going to murder them. Yeah, they don't have IO shield built in either, so that's another problem. They are a flyer, though, so they can have the flyer skills like Guidance 4 and Soaring Guidance, which is nice. -1 special trigger, all stats of 5, DR by 40%, just flat 40% DR on all attacks and AoEs. Yeah, but that's not enough, though. Yeah, that's not quite enough, man. Unfortunately. So I think not quite is fair. Okay, we have Kata up next. Where are we putting Kata? This video is already 30 minutes. We don't have too many more to go, though. We can just, like, speed fill some of this out. We can toss Micaiah in solid. She was probably the best unit in the game at the time she came out with that dominance effect, but we literally have a bigger and badder version of her right now, so until she gets her remix, we can't really have her higher. Kata's really interesting now. I think Kata got a little bit better. She can break through DR now if you have a Leer support, which is one of the things she was missing. And then she's also just effective against so many things. She can get Flow Desperation now, which is pretty huge for her. Kata aged pretty well. She also has that Harmonic Dance, and she can dance allies from Fire Emblem Heroes, which is really good. Literally the first 4 units in Gods here are from Heroes, so that is good. I'm going to have her in Fantastic. I do think she's probably slightly better than these two. And also Sigurd. Alright, we're going to have Palla in Not Quite. Palla has a Brave attack, but it's not the best one. She needs allies within 2 spaces that are specifically flyer types to get it. And then she also does like attack and defense -4 on the foe. Then her duo skill grants bonus movement to herself and adjacent flying allies. And it is reusable, but she's going to need a refine to really shoot up in tiers here. Particularly, I could see her getting like all the effects of Katria when they refine this unit, like giving adjacent allies in 2 spaces the warp effect, and then also giving them triangle attack as well. I could see that happening on her. That would be nuts, actually, because then she would be able to do that and give the bonus movement too. We'd be talking when this unit gets that, but who knows when that's going to be. Okay, we have Duo Byleth up next, the other Duo Byleth. Not the one with Sothis, the one with Rhea. So, Duo Booba. They've got no follow-up. They have attack and speed up 5. They got -1 special trigger. That's basically all the relevant things to talk about with them. That's not quite enough anymore. Can't really pierce DR unless you've got a Leer support with them, and even then, that's not like the craziest thing. They're probably about solid tier. They're better than Not Quite, I would say, but like, I think maybe I'm being too hard on Hector, by the way. Maybe Hector is a solid, because he does get a lot of stuff on his refine. It's just like very conditional. Yeah, I think that probably people are probably going to be a little happier about that, but like the dragon armored units are just in a better spot than Hector, sadly. They can have Scowl and like disencounter dragons and all that stuff. Okay, Lysithea is where? Is she a strong or is she a fantastic? She's probably a strong at this point. This unit was the reason why Deflect Magic kicked off and like Hardy Fighter, because there was no way to tank this unit when she came out, but then like people started running like all of the damage reduction skills they possibly could, and eventually she became manageable. Her duo skill grants bonus doubler to allies from 3 houses and Sacred Stones. Not too much help from Sacred Stones, but a lot from 3 houses, so that's good. And then otherwise, she's just a brave attacking mage, which is nice, but we could do a little better, I feel. So I think strong is fine. She's probably about on par with these guys in here. And then finally, we've got Duo Alm, who's also really nice. He got his refine. His duo skill grants the healing effect, which is really good. He nullifies penalties. He gives 30 HP recovery to allies in 5 columns and 5 rows. So he can turn off a lot of things that the enemies are doing to you. But man, he's not quite as good as the other units that do that. Like Duma does it better, and then he's a far save unit. And then this unit, Duo Ymir, does it better, and it's reusable with her. This guy's just a one and done. I think strong is probably right, because he's definitely a better like god unit than Erica and like some of these guys, but then he's not quite as potent offensively as some of the guys in Fantastic. So I think this is where I would want to wrap up this duo skill tier list with. Duo heroes and harmonic heroes, this looks pretty fine to me. Gods here is just like stuffed to the brim. It's crazy how many units we had in Gods here. Yeah, but for the most part, I mean, these duo heroes are the ones that they try to bait orbs with. So they do tend to make them as OP as possible. So I guess it makes a little bit of sense there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about this duo hero tier list? And this is your boy Tasho signing out. Still taking requests, by the way. So if you have any, then go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. And I will catch you guys again on the flip side.